Alright, good morning everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to today's Train Sim World 2 video. Long Island Railroad. We are on the M7. Before I forget, let's change our title. Alright, there's that. Morning, Pithers. Alright, everything's up and running. Alright, so we're going to do an 8-car service. Go in here, and we are going to do the 615 from NY Penn to Hicksville. And get in here and get everything set up. We'll be on our way. Key on. Let's see where our marker lights off. Oh, we gotta get this into max, charge our brakes. There we go. There's that. I think that should, oh, put the gauge lights on. All right. Doors shut. Hello, Patrick. Good morning, or yeah, it's still morning when you're in neck of the woods. All right, get the window down. Yeah, I think we're all set. All right, Woodside is our first stop. So there's three different, well, you get the M3 and the M7. You have to buy the M3. The M7 came with the game when it was first released. But you get 10-car, 6-car, and 8-car service. The 10 cars have the least amount of services. The 6-car has a lot, but they're very short. I think the most for a 6-car you can do is from the Atlantic Terminal, which is over here, right there, to Hempstead, which is out there. So the 8 cars seem to have the most bang for the buck, so to speak. Well, hopefully we're going to have a pleasant service here. Just a little bit of light. So for everybody's having a good Friday. I gotten a little more feeling a little more confident with Flight Simulator. So the other, when I've not been playing this game, I love Train Sim World 2, but I have been engrossed with with the flight simulator game. So I was taking off fine, but the AI pilot is just a knucklehead. And so I posted in those forums yesterday. I said I'm really struggling, and so what I did, and I said, is it best just to like pick an airport, just take off and land, just keep practicing that? And that's, everybody's like, yeah, that's the best way. You're not going to learn much from the AI pilot. So I did that just at the airport near where I grew up in Hayward, California. Took off and then finally last night before I got off, I took off, headed towards San Francisco, went past the San Francisco Bay Bridge. I think almost out. I was headed kind of towards Alcatraz, and then I turned around and then landed and had no issues whatsoever. It was fan-freaking-tastic. So I'm hoping that we do maybe tomorrow after we do the Train Sim World 2 stream on Tees Valley Line with the F7. We'll do we'll do some flight sim stuff. I'm going to try to do a flight from Hayward to Monterey. It's about an hour. So yeah, I'm just trying to do. I did pick just for fun, just to see how it worked out. I did pick a flight from Brussels to Heathrow, and that was pretty cool. I did with the real weather, so the sun was setting, you had the color in the clouds. It was really nice. So yeah, I definitely want to do something like that. Now, I did buy this morning, somebody who's an Airbus pilot created training scenarios for the Airbus. So I downloaded that, and I'm going to go through all that as well, and we'll do that on the stream as well. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow before we do we'll work our way towards doing the flight. But I wanted, it goes like put the push back and from the gate and everything. So I wanted to learn all that kind of stuff, So yeah, really looking forward to it. Getting a little more relaxed with it. Takes a lot. It's just repetitive. Like when I learned PZB, for instance, I just got on rapid transit and just drove the same way like 5 times in a row, just to get some muscle memory, sort of thing, I guess. But yeah, really excited. It's getting a little bit better, and I want to learn how to do the whole flight planning and all that, so that I could do, if I want to take off. But I guess I don't have to. I can just, once I fly around for a while, I can just call in and say, hey, I'm ready to land, so. But anyway, let's have a look at our M7 here. That's what it looks like. I guess it was a little bit more modern. If Amela was here, she could be able to tell you for sure how they're definitely different than the M3. These are a bit more modern, I think. And then there's even they have a newer version. The M3s from Long Island Railroad have all been scrapped, apparently. But, yeah. Alright, coming into Woodside. Yeah, this is a fun little route. There's you know, you do have two stations where, well, New York Penn, or the Atlantic Terminal, there's one that, well, I'll have to show it to you sometime, doing a service from there. We'll do a 6-car service from there another time. Alright, going into Woodside now. Plenty of time. A little past our marker, but not too bad. Sorry, but my phone went to crazy mode, wouldn't let YouTube work. Oh, that's okay. It happens. Can we get a few thumbs up this morning? Por favor. If you feel so inclined. Let's see. Oh, so we got about a minute to wait. I'm gonna have me a swig of coffee here real quick. All right. So one of these days we'll do a 6-car service from Atlantic Terminal, because there's a really neat, I think it's either here or a really neat station there. So just to kind of show something a little bit different on this route. You can do from Hicksville to New York Penn. I just like going this way because it's fairly simple, I think. All right. I was getting close to throwing the phone across. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. Probably can't afford a new phone or repair that one, so yeah, that's not a good idea. But yeah, next month I'm going to get the Spitfire. We'll do some flights around the UK. Find some airfields there and do some takeoffs and do a flight or something. Kind of do like a tour thing. We're still having problems with that gap where the power. So if you see the third rail, it switches, right? And sometimes the power will like just cut out for a moment. Kew Gardens and then Jamaica. So a little bit different than what we did yesterday, because we did skip Kew Gardens yesterday and went straight to Jamaica. That's a good thing about having the different locomotives on the route, because sometimes you're going to stop at different stations than you did on a different locomotive. So, yeah, good stuff. So Kew Gardens is right there. And then Jamaica, of course, is right there. So this service will probably last a little bit longer than the M3 we did a few days ago. But that's okay. I still have not been on the Long Island Railroad, or one of these days, if I ever get back out to the city, I think I'm gonna do that. I still wanna do that. I'm looking forward to, because I didn't play it, you wouldn't believe this, Rob, but yesterday evening I had to share play with young Joe to help me get the underground train moving, as I forgot how much it worked, and it just screamed. You're talking about the Bakerloo line pillars? That one? You couldn't get the Bakerloo line going? We just did it the other day. You could have gone back and watched my video, and you would have seen how to get it all going. Well, no, we did a scenario, so yeah, there was stuff that was already kind of set up for us, but yeah. That's all right. I'm pretty sure he had a tutorial video that he did on setting up the 72 stock. I think the only tutorial I did was when Mela asked about setting up the brakes on the AC 4400. Which, you know, whenever we're on there, I try to make sure we go over that, because it is kind of easy to forget. Maybe we did stop at Kew Gardens yesterday. I don't remember. I didn't watch tutorials. Well, I mean, they are helpful, because you can pause them and look for the switch, you know, while you're, you know, just take your time. Now, Kew Gardens is a very short platform, which kind of boggles my mind that we have an 8-car service stopping here, but I guess all the people who get off at the stop, they have to come to maybe the forward half of the train to be able to get off. There we go. There's a good stop right there. Yeah, Joe's done a lot of tutorials. He spent, I think, quite a bit of time, I think earlier in the year, towards the end of last year. So yeah, if you have any questions or you're not sure, look at his videos. I mean, he's very, very methodical. He's not in a rush. So yeah, great source of information. Can't recommend him enough. And I think Richard did some tutorials videos as well, so check his stuff out too. But yeah, because there's sometimes you forget on how to set things up, but also replay the tutorial stuff yourself. That's the really the best source of information. Although, well, not always. As we talked about the other day with the F7, they didn't go into detail really. What happens if you accidentally go into emergency brake? How do you get the train moving again? So, yeah, you know, at least that's some base information that you can use in the interim. All right, we got 35 coming up here. Try to get up to that speed here, so. We could just go faster and jam on the brakes. Yeah, let's do that. What the heck, Glenn? Yeah, always play. My recommendation is, you know, play the tutorials, play them a couple times if you have to. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's how I went back and played some of the tutorials in Flight Sim. You know, just to learn some more, just practice. But you know, everybody's like, there's nothing wrong with just taking off and flying around and oh yeah, well yeah it is, but it, you know, instead of, I think, you know, when people were frustrated with the you know, Sandpatch Grade, for instance, is because they don't remember how to set up the AC 4400, or they think, oh, it's going to be super easy, and it's not. You know, Joe was a bit right the other day. It is a bit of a hard route, but once you learn it, it's a lot of fun. You know, that's the great part about it. You know, but people miss out on it because they're oh, it's slow, it's boring, blah blah, you know, that usual tired garbage that I hear, you know, every stream, it seems, in other people's chats, that, oh well, I don't like this route because it's slow and boring. Yeah, but you have all this beautiful scenery to see, you know, enjoy it. But they don't, they just want to be fussy about it, you know. Hi Josh, going in the ball deep and yeah, I mean, well, I mean, it's just, it does take practice, but that's the rewarding part. You know, like, it took practice to learn PZB, for instance. But once you get it, it's like, wow, you know, it does add a whole nother dimension to the game. Now, that dimension isn't for everybody, and you don't have to do, you know, you don't have to do all that stuff if you don't want to. That's the key thing, is you don't have to. You know, you don't have to run PZB if you don't want to. Or you don't even have to run SIFA if you don't want to. But it does add a you know, a cool dimension to the German routes. And, you know, but, how are you, Josh? Hope you're well. But, you know, like, I've run the safety systems on the M7. I don't remember them well enough to feel confident that I could come in here and do a great service and not completely, you know, like the German routes, sometimes it's just because I miss acknowledging things. Now, the great thing, now, real quick while I think of it, there's the difference between the M7 and the M3. On the M3, your brakes have to be completely 100% engaged before you can open the doors, and I think close them as well. Here, I can let off the brakes a little bit if I want, and you know, I can get off the brakes, start letting them charge back up, and then I can close the door right now, because we got 20 seconds, 18, the Germans are quite hard to get around. I can't, well, it just, my advice is just pick a route, you know, pick a short service or whatever, and just keep doing it. You know, SIFA, it's only you just acknowledging that you're still in charge of, oops, look at that, I unlocked the door and I didn't need to. You know, just pick a route and just try it. And just at least learn SIFA first, because all it is acknowledging that you're awake, basically, if I remember correctly. Alright, Marilyn Avenue is next. Yeah, it's they're not hard, it's just, you just gotta practice at it. And once you get it, you're just like, oh, it's not. I'd say start with SIFA first, then build your way up to BZB. I've not run LZB yet, and maybe once the core update happens, I'll give it a go on Kolmba Aachen. But I've never quite understood LZB Although Joe's right, once you're out on that line and there's a line that runs between the tracks, you can basically go make a cup of tea and you'll be fine. Nothing major is going to happen. The only thing you got to acknowledge, well, the only thing that could happen theoretically is the SIFA will go off, and if you don't acknowledge it, then you could be neat doo-doo, but yeah, there's but it, you know, as Dovetail Games themselves have said, play the game how you want it. If you don't want to learn that stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, but once you, I was a bit leery about it. I was leery about even using OFB because I was like, "What is this?" So, yeah, I was just like, I don't know about that. But once I got used to it, I'm like, "Oh man, this is phenomenal." So it's just, you know, getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, trying it. If you don't like it, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that either, Pithers. That is a good source of information as well. I think Matt did they did a phenomenal job explaining all that stuff. But it is a lot of information to take in, you know. But yeah, it does add, even though you may make a mistake every once in a while, you may forget to acknowledge something, or, you know, because sometimes the signs are hidden on the side and they're, you know, there's bushes or something that you can't see what it is you're supposed to acknowledge, and then next thing you know, your train comes to a screeching halt. So get cooking here and get out to Maryland Avenue. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's the great thing about this game. You don't have to, and nobody should pressure anybody. Oh, you have to do it this, you know, like people in their horn code nonsense. You don't have to do all that. If you want to toot the horn a couple times every so often, that's fine. This isn't real life. Like somebody, when I posted the forums yesterday, they said it's a simulator. If you crash practicing landing, it's not the end of the world. That they expect that's what you're going to do. Just like if you don't pay it, you forget something and you derail the train by accident, you know, or you you forget to acknowledge things on PZB or SIFA, and then your train comes to a screeching. It's okay. It's not like these were actually moving passengers from NY Penn to Hicksville. It's just for fun, you know. But, you know, some people take it super seriously, that it's supposed to be like real life. You know, if you want to live that way, that's on you, but I don't, you know. Do the horn, yeah, I don't know the horn codes. I don't even care to learn the horn codes, to be honest. I mean, it's great that people, I admire people who have that knowledge, don't get me wrong. I think that's awesome that you know that sort of information. You know, I shouldn't say admire. It's great that you know it, but it's also, look, we went from 90, it went 60, 90, and I guarantee you there's a 60 on the other side of that 90. Watch, as soon as we pass that 90, it'll be like we're going down to 60. I'm going to go ahead and get on the brakes now. If I remember correctly, watch, there'll be one, as soon as we pass that 90, it'll change again. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Bam! There it is. So we're already at the right speed. I don't know why it does that. Very strange. Then we have an 80 right here. No, I don't. No, it's great that you know. You know, more knowledge. There's nothing wrong with having more knowledge. It's just that you can't. It's not right to come into somebody's stream and demand that they do it that way. That's my bugaboo. You know, I don't like that part of it. But if you know it, that hey, more power to you. If that's how you want to play the game, more power to you. I can't do it because if I'm constantly honking the horn for horn codes, I'm never going to be able to talk, and then everybody like, all I hear is the horn. When are you going to talk? You know. So no, you know, there's nothing wrong with having that kind of knowledge. You know, I just don't want to be bothered with it, to be honest. You know, I don't mind doing that. I'm sure that they do that when they're coming into the station or when they leave. I don't know. And, I mean, they do, you know, they do blast the horn quite a bit on Peninsula Corridor for all the crossings. But, you know, I'd do that maybe once, and that'd be about as far as how much I would care, you know, in the game. You know. I mean, there's lots of people who play this game who have a wealth of knowledge about railroading in general. You know, whether it's horn codes or head codes or, you know, and that's great. You know, because it's nice to understand what exactly is happening on that route with that service. You know, why do, you know, for like on Oakville Subdivision, they have the code lights on the front and back of the locomotive. You know, I didn't know what those meant. I just threw the lights. I just put lights on because I'm just like, oh, lights, more lights, cool. You know. Are we going to stop in time here, or am I going to do an Amela? It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. We got a little bit of. Oh, we're early too. Oh wow, that's not too bad of a stop. Still got 500 points. Ooh, that was. I wasn't sure about that one. That was coming a little too hot there. So after we're what, Maryland Avenue, Mineola is next. So we are here. Mineola should be right. It's right that close up the road, or if it's the one after. We'll find out here in a moment. What, the extra lights on the side? Those? You talk about those lights? I know part of it is lets people know when the doors are open or closed or something like that as well, I think. So yeah, we're here at Maryland for just a moment. So Mineola, then Hicksville. 8-car service. So we are the 649. We're not just on time. We should say early. We'll get the doors shut here. No, on the oh yeah, the code lights, yeah. Somebody told me before what they mean, but I used to just throw the lights on just because I'm like, oh, lights, let me put on the lights. You know, just like, oh, I'm going to put green in the front and red in the back. All right, we'll be underway here in a moment. But yeah, there's lots to, you know, just like with aviation, there's lots to learn with railroading. And, you know, it's easy to get into, to read, you know, find books or just do online research and learn all the, you know, all the cool stuff. All right, Mineola is next. And then Hicksville. So Mineola, yep, right there. That's just a quick, it says 1.2 miles. It doesn't seem like it's that far. And then Hicksville. So, we'll be ending there for the day. I'll tell you in a DM or something, because I'll probably just ramble in this chat. Don't want to do that. How are you getting on with flight? I'm doing really. I'm getting a little bit better with it, Pillars. Yesterday afternoon, I just got on and I took off and landed. Just practicing that. Then I did a flight from Hayward out towards San Francisco. Kind of went by Pac Bell Park, the Bay Bridge, turned around, went back, and landed, and had no major issues. So I'm getting a little bit more confident with it. But I did, so an Airbus pilot created this whole training package specifically for the A320. So I downloaded that this morning. We're going to give that a go in a stream. We're going to do the whole pushback, startup procedure, and taxiing, and all that kind of stuff. And then takeoff, cruising, landing. So, yeah, really good. But eventually, at some point, what I want to do in the stream is we'll do a flight from Hayward to Monterey. That's about an hour flight. Somebody message me. I heard my Discord go off, I think. Josh's message. Okay. Got you, Josh. Thank you. Alright. Let's get the doors closed before I forget. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I did do, just for fun, I took off from Brussels and landed in Heathrow yesterday as well, just to see how that went. I picked the 737 Max, or was it the Dreamliner? I forget, but yeah, I just did it for fun. Went over the channel and all that, so yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I did. That's where I landed. I went from Brussels to Heathrow. I was like, well, I wanted to just try this just to see how this goes. And takeoff was no major issue, and then I handed it over to the AI pilot. And, you know, going into Heathrow, of course, it wasn't the greatest landing in the world, that's for sure. And then taxiing, it was like zigzagging till we got to our gate. So yeah. So yeah. All right, next stop is Hicksville. So we've been on time the entire. We've been early at all the stops. It feels kind of weird because I know Long Island. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that I could do a service maybe from New York LaGuardia to Heathrow in the 747. That would be kind of fun. I think that's still quite a long flight. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting the Spitfire at the end of August, 1st of September. I'll pick that up and just do like a fun tour kind of thing. Really looking forward to that. So maybe we'll do a flight from an airfield and then go across the channel and land in Normandy or something. Is it like 1-to-1 the amount of time it would take to fly from I don't know, Pithers, to be honest. I think so, but I am not 100% sure. I had to learn how to convert because everything's in nautical miles. So I had to learn about the conversion from nautical miles to miles, so that when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I can kind of guesstimate how many miles are left or whatever. But I usually have my phone right next to me, so I can do calculate it real quick if I need to, or if I want to. Not that I need to, but almost at Hicksville. I think this 40 coming up, I think we kind of go into Hicksville at 40. If I remember correctly. Yep. It went below 40. That's right, I got dinged on that the other day too. So I just got to remember to go to 30. Because there's a 30 right past that 40. Caught me out again. See, then it went back up to 40. Alright, our standard middle parking spot here. The service does continue on after we stop. In real life it does. But our driver's only required to go to here. we're early here as well. All right. Now you can open both doors because the platform is level. Expedite passenger loading and unloading. And there we are. Ta-da! Another gold. Yay us. So about 44 minutes, 26, almost 27 miles. So, yeah. But, you know what, before we go, we're going to pop into, I'm going to show you guys the Atlantic terminal real quick. Look at that picture of Colnot. Oh, that's nice. So we're going to go here and we're going to pick 6-car service. Oh, so if you're not sure, on the bottom there, when you hover over, so go back to the M7, hit the X button on the Xbox, whatever the X is on and you just pick whichever one, you select that, and then it'll give you your list. So Atlantic Terminal to Hempstead. So we're just going to spawn into the Atlantic Terminal. I could have probably just spawned in, but you'll kind of get a sense of what it looks like from the train real quick. Oh, it's dark in here. Oh, look at that. Let's get some lights on. Alright, so here's the station. Got the three platforms right here. This is what it looks like. And the ground in here always, it's polished, but it always looks like it's wet. So, yeah, for whatever reason. Yeah, 3. So we're all the way over here. So that's, but there is a yard here, a small yard, that you can, I think there was a way that you could bring something into service from there, but anyway, that's what that looks like. But we'll do a service from there eventually. Just not today. But anyway, that's going to be it for now. I will see you all tomorrow on Tees Valley Line in the F7. We're going to do some refrigerator car service from Darlington to Redcar. And then Sunday we're doing steel from, can't remember the name of our starting point, but we're taking we got 2 Class 37s doing a steel service, so we'll see how that gets on. Hopefully it'll go well. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I will see you all tomorrow morning, same time. Maybe in the afternoon we'll do some flight sim stuff. We'll do the jetliner stuff, scenario training thing that this pilot put together. So we'll see how we do with that. So, all right.